So, are there any questions?
Ambassador, just to clear the air, you said that you responded in your statements or your comments to Ambassador Khalilzad's question.
Yes.
So let's just say, is Russia have a policy that would be for regime change or a change in leadership?
Regime change is purely an American invention.
I know. Okay, change in leadership.
Purely an American invention. We never apply this terminology in our political thinking, and certainly we are all for democracy in Georgia. And it's interesting that our American colleagues chose to bring up publicly this idea of President Saakashvili stepping down. It must mean that they think that there is something in it, and they want others to reflect on that. Sometimes there are democratically elected or semi-democratically elected leaders who do things which create grave problems for their countries. So sometimes those leaders need to contemplate how useful they have become to their people. And once it has been raised publicly by the United States, it may be an interesting signal.
Well, I'm sorry, Ambassador. That doesn't directly really answer the question.
Do you think that will unfreeze the situation?
Oh, I think it. No, it's. I think I did answer this question perfectly well.
Do you think that the change of regime?
I was not eavesdropping on the conversation. It's not my habit to eavesdrop on the conversations between my superiors. He raised an issue, and I think I responded quite adequately to it.
Mr. Churkin, are you going to raise the issue of ICC? I mean, here with regard to the.
Well, this is serious stuff. We outlined quite clearly how we regard the recent actions of the Georgians when they moved in militarily into South Ossetia. But all other, complicated legal issues, I think we, for the time being, we should leave them to be studied and looked into by lawyers and politicians and others.
Are you documenting what's happening?
We are documenting everything very thoroughly.
Mr. Ambassador, listening to every single member of the Security Council and how they defended the Secretariat and the Undersecretary Limbaskau, do you regret your attack on the objectivity of the Undersecretary?
Well, I did say, and I made no secret of that. Immediately when we convened for consultations, I recommended that Mr. Pascoe delivers his briefing in private, in consultation chambers, because we feel that what was delivered as a statement attributable to the Secretary General is lacking in proper and profound understanding of the complexity of the situation.
The million-dollar question: would Russia let and accept a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire? Would that pass?
Well, on the immediate ceasefire, I think I've explained quite clearly why this is not an adequate answer to the situation. An adequate answer would be the withdrawal of Georgian forces from South Ossetia and their acceptance of a non-use of force agreement with Ossetia and South Ossetia and Abkhazia. And the resolution, I haven't seen any draft resolutions as of yet, but certainly if we are to join in a resolution, it has to be something which we can accept.
Do you still consider Russian forces in Georgia and South Ossetia peacekeeping forces?
Well, now it's a peacemaking operation rather than a peacekeeping operation. It used to be for 15 or 16 years since 1992, and now this is a reinforced peacekeeping presence acting in the mode of peacemaking.
Mr. Ambassador, please, an hour ago there were reports that Russian airplanes bombed the Tbilisi airports and other installations inside Georgia itself. How does this have to do with the conflict in Ossetia?
Our military, high-level military representatives are doing daily or even more often briefings there, so those questions I think should and are directed to them. And the entire outlay, I think I've explained in some detail in terms of the structure which can be supportive of the Georgian military operations in the area of South Ossetia.
For a moment, I thought the U.S. ambassador was going to ask if there were missiles in Cuba when he asked you that question. But what is your reaction to his statements here a short time ago that Russia is in danger of overreaching, that the nostalgia about the past is over, and lasting impact of Russia's standing with the U.S. and international community if this continues? Well,
Ambassador Khalilzad is a high-flying politician. I don't want to raise to that level. I don't think we are in danger of somehow jeopardizing our relations with the United States. There is a serious issue, Of course, the United States, as I said in my remarks, feels, I think, very vulnerable in a way on that issue, because there has been a heavy U.S. involvement in the Georgian affairs in the past few years. There are some who may think that actually the United States encouraged Georgia to launch this reckless adventure with the amount of advisors and visits, and Secretary Rice was there just a few days ago, and the joint Georgian military maneuvers were finished just the 7th of August, hours before they launched their military operation. But as I said in the chamber, we don't want to believe that. We think that there may have been what may have happened, as happened before. You remember the history of the war, the invasion of Kuwait by Iraq back in 1991. Who said what and how it was interpreted. And Mr. Saakashvili having been as inadequate in his perceptions as he has in the past few months, it may well be that he misinterpreted some of those signals. But I'm sure our American colleagues feel certain responsibility, so we hope that they will channel their situation of close proximity to the Georgian government positively, and will, in contacts with us and others, will help bring this situation to a peaceful resolution.
There are those who are drawing parallels between what happened in 2006 when John Bolton stopped the Council from acting for 30 days during the Lebanon war, and drawing parallel with the position that you are taking now in the Security Council. What do you say to these people?
Well, you know, I think that if we, you know, so when they, like especially American representatives, they come out in this humanitarian, humanistic mode and start saying ceasefire, ceasefire, how come, you know, humanitarian situation, there must be ceasefire. I think they might well recall that back in 2006 there was a 34-day war in the course of which an entire country was destroyed, and all the while the United States was opposing a ceasefire for some, you know, geopolitical and other reasons. In fact, those of you who were here 2 years ago remember that at a certain point Russia proposed a resolution for a 72-hour humanitarian ceasefire because the situation was becoming desperate, and it was not supported by the United States. You know, I don't want, of course, in every historical situations there are parallels, but there are some original features, special features to every situation. But this is simply to say that one cannot, of course we are all concerned about humanitarian situation, but I think we have explained in considerable detail why a simple call for ceasefire is not good enough, and that some other steps which I have outlined need to be taken in order for the situation to come back to normalcy.
Are you going to veto any decision this afternoon?
Well, it's too early to talk about any veto. I mean, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,